Most people learning data analytics right now are wasting their time. Not because they are lazy, not because they are not smart, and definitely not because data is useless. They are wasting their time because they are spending their energy on the wrong activities. They are learning in a way that feels productive on the surface, but in reality, it creates no skill. And before you get defensive, I need you to know something. I was doing the exact same thing. I followed the same path. I made the same mistakes. And for a very long time, I did not know I was doing the wrong thing. But when I finally understood this, everything changed. And so in this video, I will show you the 3 things that may be quietly wasting your time and the system that finally helped me grow. So when I started my data journey, I genuinely believed that learning was all about speed. I told myself that if I could move fast enough, I was going to feel confident eventually. So I jumped from statistics and maths to machine learning and then to deep learning and then to neural network, and every week I had a new course to enroll in and a new certificate to obtain. But deep down, I still felt insecure. I couldn't confidently explain my work to anybody. I struggled to even walk people through my thinking. So, although I was always busy learning a lot of things, bombarding myself with different courses, I was not really growing. And that was the moment I realized something very painful. I was not learning anything at all. So the first big way people waste their time is by consuming instead of creating. And this is what I call tutorial hell. So you finish a course after another course, and yet the moment you open a blank screen, you freeze. You can't do anything. And research has even shown that passive learning increases failure rates by 55%, which means that the more you only watch videos, the more you only watch tutorials, the harder you make success for yourself. And so, watching sometimes may feel safe and comforting, but it tricks you into thinking you are making progress. Watching several tutorials makes you feel you are making progress, but you are not making progress. And when you finish watching all these tutorials, nothing exists really. By the time you start learning, or by the time you open your laptop to do something meaningful with what you've learned, everything becomes blank. And that's why we don't advise people to bombard themselves with a lot of tutorials, YouTube tutorials. So at the end of the day, you don't have any dashboards to show, you don't have case studies, you don't even have a story to tell. So you just move on to the next course. And the truth is, creation forces you to think. When you create, when you practice, when you work with data sets, it forces you to think. And we are not talking about the usual data set that everybody works on now. And while consumption allows you to hide, right? The more you consume, the more you hide. And the second way people waste their time is by learning without a clear goal. Many people don't know the role they truly want. They don't know the industry that excites them, and they don't know the kind of problem that they would enjoy solving. And as a result of this, they try to learn everything at once and they end up mastering nothing. So I did this too. I learned tools, but I really did not have any purpose behind them. So when you don't know where you are going, every course, every new tool feels important to you, and none of them are actually strategic. When someone tells you tomorrow to learn this tool, you jump at it and learn it. When another person tells you on LinkedIn and tell you to learn this tool, you jump at it and learn. That's because you really do not have a role that you want to work for or you want to go for. And that's why it is very important for you to know the kind of role, to have a clear goal, to know the kind of industry that excites you, right? And in the last video, I recommended that if you are interested in data analytics, the first thing that you must know is to understand the fundamentals, understand what data analytics really is. Understand what data analyst does, what a data analyst does. Understand the various roles in data analytics. When you understand the various roles such as data engineering, data science, BI analysis, data analysis itself, when you understand these different roles, you look inward. What interests me? Right, and that is when you now align your interest with this role and select the one you go for. Of course, you're going to learn the fundamentals, the fundamental tools, which are Excel, Power BI, and SQL. But then when you now know the role that you want to go for, you'd be able to know the one to specialize in. And I talked about all these things deeply in one of the videos. I'm going to tag it in this video so that you would listen to it, so that you would not be looking at different tools that do not really profit you. Like I said, understand the various fundamentals too first, and then you can now specialize in the tool that really is for the role that you want to go for. And the third and deepest waste is avoiding real world complexity. People choose clean data sets. They choose perfect tutorials. They go for step-by-step instructions because they feel very comfortable with all these things. But this is something I call copy trap, where people copy dashboards, they copy queries, they copy entire tutorials. And unfortunately, copying does not mean building. It only builds dependency. Copying makes you to be dependent on all these tutorials. It makes you to be dependent on all these already made projects that are on YouTube. And that is why you see the same and that is why you see the same HR dashboards, you see the same sales dashboards, you see the same Netflix datasets everywhere. But real data is going to make you feel uncomfortable because it's going to expose your gaps. So instead of facing that discomfort, people stay busy with safe work. However, real data is messy and real problems are vague. And that discomfort is exactly what you make way to grow. And that is where growth lives. So when I finally chose messy data, my confidence grew in a way that I never expected. I never experienced it before. So the truth is, people are not really wasting their time because they are watching tutorials, but they are wasting their time because they are avoiding the uncomfortable work that actually creates real skills. So what finally worked for me was simple but powerful. I picked one real problem. I asked one real business question. I cleaned messy data. I built insight, and then I forced myself to explain my work to someone else. And that process changed everything for me. So if you want to stop wasting your time, here is the system I now live by. The first thing is to build something every single month. So instead of you watching another course, instead of you enrolling in a new course, instead of you going for different boot camps, create one dashboard, use one SQL case, or do one insight post, because creation will always beat consumption. You don't always have to consume. Create, consume, and create. So the next thing is to pick a clear direction for 90 days by choosing one role and one industry. I said it earlier, understand the different roles in data analytics, understand what data analytics is all about, understand the kind of questions we ask. When you understand it, understand the fundamentals, look inwards. Which one does my interest align with most? If you know the one your interest aligns with, you'll be able to know which path you want to go for. Is it data engineering? Is it data science? Is it data analysis? Is it BI analysis? That would help you to now focus. As a data engineer, you know you must know how to use SQL. As a BI analyst, you know you must know how to use Power BI. As a data scientist, you know you must know how to use Python. You can't run away from Python. And as a data analyst, you know Excel is very important for you. So these are the things, when you know what you want, you'll be able to know the paths to go through. So you won't be beating about the bush, or you won't be learning everything at once and mastering none. And this is very, 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 very important for you. And finally, practice in the mess. Use dirty data sets. Look for vague problems. Look for real business problems. business questions, because that is where real analysts are born. It's not just you copying dashboards that you see on YouTube. It's not just copying the already made SQL queries that they have been answered. Think outside the box. Think about the questions that you can answer. And in the end, remember this, that you are probably wasting your time because you are practicing the wrong way. So stop preparing and start practicing. Stop preparing and start performing. If this message resonated with you, comment which of the activities has been wasting your time, and make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of these tips. Thank you.